Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the top entertaining posts from r/ProRevenge. Before we start, please subscribe and like the video. Thanks. Delivery driver gets his karma twice. So this happened a few months ago and I decided it goes here. I was driving down a small country road with a 45 miles per hour speed limit that some choose to ignore, and coming up behind me was a standard work truck. I won't name names, but it was a popular automotive parts store delivery truck and got right on my bumper. I'm not in a tiny car, but it's a sedan, and he was so close that all I saw was grill and hood in my mirrors. While I stayed doing the speed limit, after about 3 minutes he decided that a sharp curve was the perfect time to pass me, and surprise surprise there was a car coming after the curve. He swerved at me and I slammed the brakes, nearly missing his bumper. Thankfully I had this all on dashcam, front and back. I got home later and got the footage on my laptop and called their 1800 number with his plate number and his truck number. The woman I spoke to was super apologetic and she asked me to send her the video. She watched it while on the line with me and immediately asked if she could put me on hold. I said yes, and a few minutes go by and she gets back and brings me someone else on the line. The local store manager of that driver. She had sent him the video and the manager apologized a ton and promised me right then and there that employee was terminated for that behavior. A few weeks go by and I don't hear anything till a friend of mine on Facebook sends me a link. The driver that was fired managed to get my name from his hours or manager or something and was trying to find me IRL because he lost his job and made a video wearing his work uniform threatening violence on me because of everything. I went to my local PD station about it and showed them the video and explained everything and was told I needed to speak to that company again because they let my name get out. I called them and told them everything going on and I was told I'd get a call from their HR department within 2 to 3 business days. Literally 6 hours later I received a call from some higher up HR person with one of their legal team on the phone. They wanted me to sign a document stating I won't publicly go after them or give negative PR if they sue him for me and get restraining order and everything on this guy for what he threatened. They even offered to have a lawyer of my choosing go over it with me at no cost to me and sign it and have them handle it. Another few more weeks go by and that friend on Facebook, he knows that guy's family or something, said that the dude's mom posted some sob story that her son is going through some expensive court case that he likely won't win because the other team is over 10 lawyers. So not only lost his job, but then tried to find me, only to have his ex-employer sue him. Lol. Want to undercut me on a job by doing shady and poor work? Fine, just wait and see. I was an observer in this whole affair, but to say I didn't enjoy the hell out of it would be a lie. Company A did fencing / walls / barriers etc. Company A was ran by Bob. Bob was a real upstanding guy, took over the business from his father and really grew it into something big. Bob had an employee, Jake. Jake had been with Company A for quite a few years, but Bob and Jake always rubbed off on each other in the wrong ways. Bob always felt like Jake was the king of shortcuts and shoddy workmanship. When Bob took over the company from his dad, Bob applied more pressure on Jake to bring up the quality of his work or be let go. Eventually Jake got tired of the increased pressure and quit and formed his own fencing company called Company B. Here is where I come in. I started a job in a company providing business services to small to medium sized businesses in the area and both Company A and Company B became my clients. This was several years after Company B had formed. From my outside viewpoint, Company A was that local company that's been around forever that does good quality work that you can trust, but they aren't going cheap. They never try to be cheap, but you can trust them. Company B was the young startup who was cutting corners and being competitive in every way possible, often by lying or misleading its customer. That's when Company C comes in. Company C was building a production facility in the area and wanted a wall with gates around its new production facility. This was going to be a big contract and really the only 2 players in the area that could possibly do this job was Company A or Company B. This contract was worth a lot. If my memory serves me correctly, the job was somewhere near 7 figures. Company A and Company B went to go bid. Company B came in at like a 30% lower price point, and even though Bob tried to explain it wasn't possible for Company B to do the work that was promised at the price point that was given, of course money talks, and Company B got the contract. I remember Bob was furious. In his eyes he felt what Jake was doing was wrong. He didn't mind fair competition, but Jake's MO has always been way underbid, overpromise, rely on cost overruns to make a profit. Bob's opinion on business was a price is a price, and if he says he's going X for Y he's going do X for Y, even if he loses money. It's how he was raised. Some time goes by, and Bob gets a call from Company C. They've apparently fired Jake and his company due to not being able to do the work required, and ask Bob if he can come in and fix the mistakes. Bob agrees and gets the job done. At this point Bob starts thinking he's gotta take Jake out. Jake is taking too much money out of his pocket. Bob comes up with the idea of buying Jake out. But Bob knows if he approaches Jake regardless of what he offers to pay, Jake is going say no. So Bob has got to be smart. Bob is talking to me about this doing 1-hour meetings. We had become quite close. And I tell Bob I bet there are lawyers out there who specialize in helping other companies acquire other companies. Bob asks me if I know of any. I don't, but I did have a client who specialized in business law who would be more familiar with this whole thing. I give Bob his contact info and Bob thanks me. Bob contacts the lawyer and tells the lawyer what he would like to do. The lawyer tells Bob a lawyer who used to work for him now works for a firm that specializes in mergers and acquisitions, and if Bob wanted to buy out Jake's company he's confident this firm could get it done. Also this firm was in the big city far away from their small community, so it's unlikely Jake would know what's truly going on. Bob contacts the firm and says he wants to buy out his competitor and would like to enlist their services. Now this is already getting a bit longer, so I'll get to the point. This firm ended up buying Jake's company, lock, stock, and barrel, and gave the company to Bob. All the while Jake was completely oblivious to the fact that his archenemy has just acquired his very own company. I recall Bob describing to me the day he walked into Jake's company with such delight. Bob was told he owned the company, Jake had been paid, and was expecting to meet the new owner of the company that pleasant Monday morning. Jake was given the title of general manager and was considered second in command now. So Bob walked into the building that once belonged to Jake with his documents and the lawyer that had helped him acquire the firm, who Jake was familiar with. Bob walked into Jake's office to Jake's surprise. Jake, hi Bob. Bob, hi Jake, how are you? Jake, I'm good. What are you doing here? Bob, oh nothing much, just thought I'd come check out my newly acquired business. Jake, Bob, Jake, you sold your company to me. Jake, I did what? No I didn't. I sold it to Ziz. Bob, Ziz is the law firm I hired to organize the transaction, I'm now the owner. Jake, that's bullshit. Bob, here's the documents. Lawyer who Jake was familiar with confirmed this was all true. Jake, so you're now my boss? Bob, yes, now get up. That's my chair, and I'm tired, I wanna sit down for a minute. Jake, this is my office. Bob, this is my company, and I have decided that this office is now my office, so I'm going need you to get out of my chair. Jake gets out of chair. Bob, great, well have a sit Jake. Jake, thanks. Bob, Jake, I think the first order of business today is getting rid of redundancies. Jake, what do you mean? Bob, well you see Jake, whenever a company acquires another company you get overlap, redundancies. 2 hour departments, 2 secretaries, 2 accountants, etc. But now it's all one company, so now you got redundancies, overlaps, which is quite frankly a waste of money. Jake, yay. Bob, and I don't need 2 owners working for one company, and he laughs and tells me he had the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. Jake, it's become apparent that your services are no longer required, and effective immediately you are terminated. Jake protested. Bob, the decision is final. You may collect your personal belongings and leave the premises. What time did you get to work this morning? Jake, 7 AM. Bob, great. So you've been here for 2 hours. I'll make sure payroll pays you out for 2 hours on the agreed upon rate in the buyout agreement. Have a nice day. Jake, so you're just firing me? Just like that? Bob, yup, should have done this long ago. Jake, what about my family? Bob, Jake, I just bought your company from you and paid you a lot of money. You'll be fine. Now get out of my office and out of my building. And that is how Bob acquired and fired an employee he should have fired long before. Some background. I remember the day vividly when Bob scheduled an appointment with me to go over Company B services and negotiate a new service contract with us. It was the day Bob had fired Jake. Bob was in a great mood. One of the best moods ever. We did the business we needed to handle, and Bob Band said, PJ, you helped me out get this all done. I'd like to invite you out to dinner and drinks and let's watch Monday Night Football together. I really hadn't. I said, Bob, I really didn't do much. He said, oh yes you did. You pointed me in the right direction. I go, well that's the least I could do. He said, very well. Still like to take you out to dinner and drinks if that's alright with you. Now I'm not one to turn down free beer and food, so I agreed. And that night Bob and I went to a local hangout and watched Monday Night Football and ate and drank beer as Bob recounted this whole experience with such joy. Bob later branded Jake's company as a commercial-only enterprise and accused his main company on residential, and both companies still exist today and ran by Bob and Son now. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe for more videos. The funniest comment on this video will appear in the next video. Bye.